recently came across a video from our favorite rich uncle, real second favorite rich uncle. When I was in a prosperity gospel movement, Jesse Duplantis, I've said this before, Jesse Duplantis was one of my favorite people to listen to because he was funny and he would use a lot of his humor to basically mask or disguise just his horrible theological errors and, unfortunately, arrogance.
I'm a gift.
So, came across this video. It looks like it was released a few months back. That he was talking about his house, his second house, was almost $82,000, and his watch costing more than his second house. Let's just look at this thing together. Here we go.
Well, I'm telling you, listen to me. I'm telling you. My first house cost $14,700. I'm giving you a chance to write your check out.
Okay, so my first house costs $14,000+. I'm gonna give you a chance to write your check. Okay, so it looks like this is tithes and offerings. Time, right? Okay, so this is time to give offering. All right, and so he's sharing a testimony. He's sharing a testimony of he goes from a $14,000+ house to a nearly $82,000 house. Okay, so look, this principle of give and receive, which is a lot of type of rhetoric that is used by prosperity gospelers, very prosperity gospel rhetoric that goes on quite a bit when it comes to during these offering times. Again, I've been there, I've seen it. It's usually like a very poignant song that gets you the end really emotionally, and then some wacky story that just because it happened to me, it can happen to you, and if you give 30, 60, 100-fold, and all this type of rhetoric goes into these offerings. And so basically he's talking about, his first house going to his second house and what happened there. So there's more.
My second house cost $81,900, and this watch costs more than that.
Okay, so the watch costs more than $81,900. Okay, awesome. So can I have it? I mean, because is this going to be more? Is this because we're going to go from a $14,000 house to an $82,000 house, then to a watch that is cost more than the $82,000 house? Is that the reward that we're going to get for giving, or are you just flaunting your watch? What is the purpose of talking about how $115,000 watch is more costly than your second house?
What's the big idea?
Is this what we're going to be rewarded if we give? Otherwise, it's a very prideful statement. Look, here's the thing. I've said this a lot of times on my channel. If you want to wear a $115,000 watch, if it's not on my dime, if you having books and speeches and you making money, go for it. Don't let me stop you. But at the same time, do not use this ability to flaunt a $115,000 watch, because it says right here that it says that this watch is about $114,917 based on the watches. The watch that it seemingly has on is about $115,000 watch. So $115,000 watch. If you've got it to wear, if you've got it to look, if you want you a watch that's $115,000 and you got it to give to get, okay, I see you. I see you, big baller. But I hope you're not using that as some bait and switch to give a lot of money and you're going to get this $115,000 watch. But the problem is a lot of prosperity pastors do that. Let me share you my testimony of giving. My first house was $14,000. My second house was $82,000. And now I have a watch that costs more than that. But this is what Jesse Duplantis do all the time. This is a lot of pastors do, especially prosperity pastors. They keep the audience in as one of them, as siding with them, because what they do is they make the outsiders look bad. They make bad, even if it's wrong, even if it's challenging a certain pride or arrogance or theological errors. They know how to do certain things and have certain tricks, manipulating tricks to make the audience side with them and saying, yeah, I know, man, those outsiders basically they're going to come at your neck. So Jesse Duplantis does it all the time to just mask their arrogant statements.
Are you going to write me an ugly letter? Let me tell you what, no.
Okay, you see that? So he puts it in the guise of humor, because are you going to write me an ugly letter? That's a way of saying, okay, so I'm going to basically, I said a very prideful and arrogant statement. I did flaunt. I did do that. And so I want you all to side with me because it is a statement to flaunt this watch. Oh, I'm going to get an ugly letter. And that gives the crowd, once again, an opportunity to be like, man, no, you better not. That's my pastor. That's my pastor. You better not get an ugly letter. So no matter what, even if you're just flat out wrong, using that type of rhetoric keeps an audience in your corner. And then he says something funny. Let me tell you how much this, so that's the type of jargon that is used when it comes to these prosperity preachers. And it's sad. And you wonder why a lot of these congregations are continuing to be with these prosperity pastors is because they know what to say. They know how to say it to keep the audience hooked. And so he says things like, oh, well, I want to get another ugly letter.
I can really give you, I don't mean that pridefully.
And so that's what he does again. That's what he does again. I don't mean it pridefully, but I mean it pridefully is essentially what you're doing. You're just giving me a buffer statement of something that you're doing. You're doing that. So again, it's only for the purposes of trying to make good with audience members that's possibly saying, oh, that was a little. And by saying, oh, it wasn't. It gives the audience who's like super pro Jesse Duplantis a little cognitive dissonance there to say, oh, it was just a testimony of the goodness of the Lord during offering time. The timing is very interesting. During offering time, it's just a testimony of the goodness of the Lord. If we give, maybe one day we can have a watch that's more expensive than our $82,000 house. I'm just going to have this principle of giving, this seed time and harvest, and maybe one day I'll have a $115,000 watch. Friends, that is not a good way to give and expecting that. Now, the favor of the Lord is a real thing. The goodness of God and being able to partake of his blessings and favor. Yep. All for it. Nice cars, nice homes, nice clothes. Yep. All for it. But have a good job. Work your way up to be able to do that stuff. Not some ridiculous hustle strategy of if you give a lot of money, you'll be able to be like me. Very, very, very bad leadership when it comes to that, and especially when it comes to the giving principle. It's just very, very poor way to flaunt that way. And unfortunately, like I said, Jesse Duplantis does that quite a bit. And when I used to listen to him a lot, I was under that spell a lot because I thought it was funny, but underneath those laughs was a lot of pride and arrogance and a lot of opportunities to keep me in by saying those deflective statements like, "Oh, they're going to give me a bad email. I'm going to get some flack for this, or they're going to get me now." Those are ways to keep the audience in. So, listen, if you're an avid Jesse Duplantis or Prosperity Gospel or Word of Faith, or look, if you're a follower, I pray that this video makes you at least consider that there's better options theologically and from a standpoint of Christian leadership than Jesse Duplantis. And if you're teetering on the fence of, yeah, I'm starting to realize that this ain't a route, I pray that this video and situations like this helps you realize that not to go away from the faith, because this has nothing to do with the goodness of God. It has nothing to do with the lordship of Jesus Christ. It does have to do with leaders calling themselves leaders theologically, Christian leaders calling themselves effective leaders by saying rhetoric like this during offering time as a way to manipulate you psychologically to partake of these blessings by giving a lot of money. So be blessed. I pray that this helps you. I pray for you listening who is on the fence. Look, go away and go far away. Get yourself some good theological teaching. Don't fall away from the faith, because this does not represent the amazing Jesus that we serve. Instead, a lot of material wealth, a lot of pride and arrogance. I'll be very, very weary, very, very leery of these type of preachers, because guess what? They're in every city, in your city right now that you're listening to, on your block, down the street. They're there, and I would steer very clear away from them in exchange for some good, solid theological leadership. Be blessed. Peace.